I'm on YouTube now, again. For those of you who didn't know, I used to be in video production and had a daily show where we made an episode a day, about 5 minutes long.
The only way I really connect in social media, I think all media is supposed to be social, it's just whether or not the communication is back and forth instead of direct to you.
We went around Silicon Valley interviewing all sorts of people, like the time my boss, Loic, interviewed Jack Dorsey of Twitter, asking him if he was going to get into video.
Do video?
Our concern is text right now. Right?
We're friends.
Oh, we're definitely friends.
Thanks, Jack.
I'm committing to a video a week, and I hope you'll join me. For future videos, I anticipate posting about van builds, mine and others, maybe schoolie builds, definitely Airbnbs, mine and others, talking to other carpenters. I'd love to talk to more designers and artists, and I'm going to share as much knowledge that I've learned over the last 7 years in building and Airbnb and meeting others who are trying to do similar work. I want to share a couple more things about me. I live in both Portland, Oregon, and Austin, Texas. My wife and her daughter live here in Austin, and my kids are in Portland, and I fly back and forth between both cities. When I don't have my kids, I'm in Austin, and when I do have my kids, which is every other week, I'm in Portland. So just a lot of travel back and forth. This is partially why I'm just trying to figure out what work is going to continue to be. Van building is a good option. Lots of people want vans being made, but I have to constantly look for the work, and it can be hard in the winter working outside in Portland. Actually, life right now is a lot of figuring out what's next. My line of work is often figuring out what the next project is, and part of starting this YouTube channel is answering these questions. What's the next project? I'd like to kind of go through my process, just share my process with people so you all can understand what I do, and maybe it'll help you figure out what you're doing, or maybe just be interesting to you. But the truth is, right now, I don't know what my next project's going to be. The last time I didn't know what the next project was going to be was a little over a year ago. I had finished a van for my friend Evan, and when I was done, I thought, well, I've got a little bit of money. Maybe I can buy a van and convert it and sell it. So I went on Craigslist. I started searching for a Sprinter van, and this is how I actually came across the double-decker bus. I was searching on Craigslist, and the double-decker bus was tagged Sprinter. I was in Austin, and my friend Kier, who was helping me build out vans at the time, was back in Portland, and I asked him if he would go look at the double-decker bus. Later in the day, said he had gone out and visited it, and that it had some rain damage, but that it was super cool. I contacted the owner and asked if he could hold on to the bus for me if I put $1,000 down. I went out and visited it for the first time about a week later and put the rest of the money down. And the next time I was in Austin, it was towed to my driveway in Portland while Kier was home. So when I came back out to Portland, the bus was just sitting there in my driveway, this 32-foot double-decker bus sitting in my driveway. And that's when I got started on it. Circling back here, I didn't see the double-decker bus project on my radar, but when I saw it, I knew it was the next project. This is kind of where I feel like I am now. I don't know what the next project is. I call it being open to the universe to help me see what's next. I pull on threads all the time. In fact, my friend Dave Matthews, not that Dave Matthews, recently asked if I'd be interested in collaborating on an Airstream with him. Dave came across an Airstream out here near Austin, and I said that I'd love to go visit it with him. So right now, him and I are playing with the idea of getting an Airstream and renovating it, and then who knows what we'll do with it. Do we find land to park it and Airbnb it? Do we sell it? We have to figure out how the investment works. I don't have a ton of money to invest in an Airstream project, so my investment would be in time, which is an investment because I don't have I'm not making money if I'm investing my time, and I don't have a giant runway to just be able to work on fun, random passion projects for a long time. I'm also talking with neighbors about houses in the neighborhood that are for sale, and we're having conversations about, if we pool our money together, can we buy one of these houses? Can we flip it? Could we Airbnb it? In fact, down the road there's a house that's for sale, and it's not quite on the market yet. It just says coming soon. I looked up the realtor and found her on Instagram and reached out to her. The reason I used Instagram to reach out was because I have like social clout on Instagram now, that I have so many followers there. So it just seemed like an easier cold call, a cold dropping into her DMs than just like randomly texting the number on the front of the sign out there. So this is a conversation that I'll be having. I don't know much about buying and selling homes. I know a decent amount about Airbnb and the process. I recently met a guy named David. David and I have been talking about some of the properties that he owns. He owns some land and has tiny houses. I recently posted a video about a home that he turned into an Airbnb with 2 trailers parked on it, and he hired these really talented artists whose name on Instagram is Tola Homes. But David and I are going to have a conversation soon where we can talk about, what are the advantages and pitfalls of trying to buy a house and flip it, or trying to buy a house and Airbnb it with other things on the property. So these are all things that potentially could happen next, and I just don't know. In fact, our neighbors here, our direct neighbors in Austin, aren't home much because they go between 2 homes also, and they're gone so much that I proposed turning their house into an Airbnb when she's gone, and so theoretically I'll help run that Airbnb too. All of this is to say that there are a ton of potential projects. I don't know exactly what will stick. So anyway, these are some of the things that I'm thinking about. I really started thinking about YouTube and how it might benefit me to post on YouTube. And Instagram is great for advertising and marketing, but YouTube is where views can actually turn into dollars. So I thought, I may as well start posting there too. And so this week has been a little bit of a transitioning some of my videos, bringing my videos onto YouTube, sharing them as stories, trying to build my following a little bit. I had the goal of having 10 subscribers to this channel by the end of the week, and I'm at 24. So things are looking good. This week, I met up with David and Laura from Tola Homes. We were talking about the importance of just sitting and reflecting and having time to slow down. I often work mornings till nights, especially at the tail end of a project when I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'll just work and work and work. I'll work through the weekends, I'll work back-to-back weeks, and often right when I'm done working, I'm getting on an airplane and flying to the other city. So sometimes my only downtime is while I'm flying. And now that I'm between projects, I'm trying to take a break so things can slow down physically and ramp up mentally, which can be a problem for some of the people around me because I'll talk about all the ideas I have, but it helps me sort of filter what sounds fun, what might actually stick. This week has been interesting. It's been really fun because it's been sort of a summer in Austin kind of week instead of a lot of building. I went bowling with some friends who have a league out here and have invited me out, and that was a ton of fun. The next morning I went golfing with my brother outlaw. I don't know about you, but I often feel like I just need to constantly be getting things done. Cleaning the house, doing the laundry, making food for the kids, figuring out where the next paycheck is gonna come, and it can be hard for me to just sit and relax. Another thing I did was just sit in our stock tank pool in our backyard. It's hot out here. This was one of the newer projects on our home, a collaboration with stock tank love. So these are the sorts of ideas that I'm, coming up with, trying to collaborate with others as much as possible because it's good for their brand, it's good for my brand, and it just gets me out meeting more people where we can bounce ideas off of each other. And if anybody ever says to me, hey, you should really talk to so-and-so, I always take the opportunity to go meet new friends. And just like that, I'm back in Portland. This is the next project I'm working on. I'm excited to tell you about it next week. Thank you for liking and subscribing. I'm not sponsored by Alaska Airlines, but I'd like to be.